Introducing Zentrix AI-powered trading signals service. Tired of second-guessing your trades? Zentrix AI scans the markets 24/7 with powerful, proven indicators built to give you clarity. You get 200-plus signals every day on 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily charts. We cover Forex, crypto, commodities, indices, and stocks, so you're covered no matter what you trade. And the best part, you get all this delivered 3 ways, every day. Web alerts give you fast, clean access right from your dashboard. Telegram delivers real-time entries, confidence levels, sentiment, and trade duration. And email gives you the full breakdown, including 2 profit target levels and deep market analysis. Just hold $5 worth of ZTR. See what you can achieve with powerful AI trading intelligence by Zentrix. Try it now. And join our Telegram channel. Introducing Zentrix AI-powered trading signals service. Tired of second-guessing your trades? Zentrix AI scans the markets 24/7 with powerful, proven indicators built to give you clarity. You get 200-plus signals every day on 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily charts. We cover Forex, crypto, commodities, indices, and stocks, so you're covered no matter what you trade. And the best part, you get all this delivered 3 ways, every day. Web alerts give you fast, clean access right from your dashboard. Telegram delivers real-time entries, confidence levels, sentiment, and trade duration. And email gives you the full breakdown, including 2 profit target levels and deep market analysis. Just hold $5 worth of ZTR. See what you can achieve with powerful AI trading intelligence by Zentrix. Try it now. And join our Telegram channel.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another live stream. Hope everyone is doing good. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. And of course, hit the like button so you can show some love to the channel. It does really help out, promotes the channel, so I do really appreciate that. But guys, welcome back to another stream. If you are interested, check out the Zentrix signal service on Telegram. I will share the link with you to the community Telegram for Zentrix. You can find the link to the signal group in the pinned messages at the top of the Telegram I'm sharing with you now. So if you're interested in that, check out the signals. There's plenty of different opportunities there, powered by AI, looking at different chart patterns, indicators, different time frames, and a lot more in-depth analysis as well. So if you're interested in that, check it out, and you'll find the link to this AI powered signal service at the pinned messages on the top of that chat. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is well. Forex Guru, welcome to the stream. Welcome back. Appreciate it. Hope everyone has been well. Hope everyone had a good weekend and ready for the week ahead. What's up, Campbell? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Love the slogan. An hour a day of Miko keeps the liquidity away. You get down a shirt. Hope you're doing good. Yes, we'll keep pattern 1 to 6 in mind. What's up, Tony? Go welcome to the stream. Yusuf, good morning, my man. I hope you're well. Yes, had a good weekend. Thank you for asking. Hope you had a good weekend as well. What's up, Alfie? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. So we've got a lot to go through today. Of course, we didn't have streams Thursday and Friday last week. So kind of updating what's gone on since then. And of course, what's gone on this morning, because there has been quite a lot of movement. This is Euro USD. You can see a pretty big bearish candle there. So things are looking semi-interesting at the moment. A few pairs I'm looking at. Of course, we'll go through my watch list for the week. I'll share that with you guys as well. Any requests, any pairs you're looking at, feel free to let me know. Of course, if there is any specific time frames which you are interested in, please let me know as well so I can zoom in on those time frames for you. But most of the time I'll be in a 4-hour daily chart. But yeah, we'll go through a bunch of markets, and I'll go through my watch list shortly afterwards as well. What's up, CS Integrated? No, I have not. I'm not in any trades at the moment. Kind of just interested to see how the market does develop. I'm not yet trying to commit to the bulls with the USD just yet, and I'll go through why. But potentially, if this does continue, I will be looking at maybe even a reverse of this trend. So things are becoming interesting, but I'm not in any positions at the moment. But the first thing we'll look at is the DXY, which of course did gain some strength this morning. And it's coming into an interesting area, which is a bit like a crossroad, because I've been pretty bullish on the dollar because we did manage to climb back above this zone here at 98. So as you can see, price support on the left, support there again. We managed to break through to the downside, then we did the exact same to the upside. And last week or the week before, I was looking for buying opportunities in this area for the continuation and potentially the reversal. Didn't have that. We did break below. Now price is coming back into the same level again. So depending what we do here, that's going to make up my mind for my buys for the next few days potentially. So that's kind of why I haven't committed to any idea just yet with the dollar, because we just cracked underneath this level and now coming back to retest it. Now this could be a retest or it could be priced looking to break above, and of course depending on which outcome, it will give me my buys for the next few days, whether we're looking for a swing back into the highs up here or we're looking for a swing back into the lows down here. It will really depend on what price does at this area. Now it is a little bit messy. I kind of do expect us to break to the upside. Still do have that natural bullish bias on the dollar, and the main reason is because I do think the trend is a little bit tired now, running out of steam. I do think we can see a bit of a retracement. Maybe the bigger move is to the downside eventually with the dollar, but I do think we can have a bit of a retracement and see some more upside. So I am leaning towards the dollar bulls, but I'm not looking for any buys until I see price firmly back above this zone, and I can look for some pullbacks or some buying opportunities shortly after that. So that's really what I'm looking for to get into some longs on the dollar myself, and maybe some shorts in euro or pound or whatever USD pair. We'll go through a bunch of them shortly. But that's really kind of my bias and where I'm at with the dollar. If we can break above this 98 zone, very bullish. If I do start to see some really strong rejection, wicks, bearish engulfing candles, signs of rejection in this area, then I wouldn't mind actually taking some shorts on the dollar as well. I would expect us to come back and test the lows there. I think that could be a nice swing as well. So I can see price make both scenarios happening. Like I said, I do favor price breaking to the upside, but I'm going to stay flexible because at the end of the day, we're traders here, so we're always reacting to what the market's giving us, not so trying to predict too much. But yeah, I'll see what price can do in this area, and then that will kind of make my mind up from a swing perspective. Of course, day trading, scalping, you might be already in some positions already, but from a swing perspective, I'm looking for the trade for the next few days, which not really confirmed to me just yet. So if we go take a look at euro, which is showing some downside as well, it looks to me that could be a lower high. If I drop to the 4 hour quickly, again, this bullish move here wasn't quite strong. We did see a few glimpses of strength, but overall it's very, very corrective on the way up. So that's a bit of a red flag there for the buyers. Because if this was a trend continuation, you probably want to see more sustained momentum there and more strength with these impulsive moves. It's been quite corrective, and then we had this consolidation, and then of course this morning we just broke to the downside very, very aggressively to the downside there as well. So this is looking like potentially a lower high in comparison to that high, which of course is maybe a sign that we could see more downside here for euro long term. Euro did run into a brick wall a little bit. Past few days, we've got resistance back here, which flipped into support, which price did a pretty good job at respecting. As you can see, price did come back into the zone at 1.155. It respected it, potentially could have saw continuation back to highs. Didn't quite see that happen. Maybe looks like price is on its way back to test that same support level. So looking into Euro USD, I kind of do favor something like this now. Some pullbacks and a short. So this would be the break and retest pattern here. So you got the consolidation, clean break to the downside. Looking for the retest of that, you probably would want to drop to maybe like a 15-minute chart for a break and retest of that, just in terms of like getting a decent risk to reward opportunity. Anything higher than that might not give you the best entry. Maybe an hourly chart could present some nice opportunities, but I think 15 would be best. But yeah, Euro USD to me, very, very strong candle, kind of more like a statement breaking out that consolidation. I do think price can see some more downside. It looks like USD, again, can see some more upside. But I'm going to keep one eye on the dollar, because if the dollar starts to reject that area, which we just mentioned, maybe we do roll back over, and maybe Euro does keep going up. But I do think strength will continue for the US, for the USD. So I do favor Euro USD push down. So I would keep an eye out, especially if you're intraday, keep an eye out some pullbacks and a retest of that range on like a 15-minute chart. And there could be some nice shorts maybe for the remainder of the week. So keep a close eye on that. Pound USD looks like it's giving us that head and shoulder pattern, which is looking very interesting. Of course, you got your lovely left shoulder over here, right shoulder, left shoulder head, and then your right shoulder, of course. And this would be the neckline of the pattern, which price looks like it's coming into now. So what's going on? Keep clicking the wrong one. Don't know what happened there. This is like a lovely head and shoulder pattern. So if price can break through that, then we've kind of got a confirmed reversal to a degree there with pound USD. And why I say to a degree is that I'm not necessarily expecting price to completely reverse. I think pound USD's bigger move is still likely to be to the upside, but I think we can see maybe a sustained bearish move here, and then maybe we flip bullish after some time. So yeah, I quite like what I'm seeing with pound USD. If we do crack through the support level there, through the neckline of the pattern, that does give us some bearish structure there, and I would be looking for another lower high, and then that would be my trade for pound USD. And probably at that point, you probably got DXY breaking through that resistance as well. So you kind of got the confirmed dollar strength, as well as a nice short pattern here on pound USD. In terms of exactly what I look for, I would wait for that setup to kind of start to take shape before I say if I'm looking for a breaking test of this level or a deeper pullback. It really depends on how we do develop. But pound USD, I think I'll be focusing more on the shorts now. Like I said, I'll wait for the DXY to really confirm before I do focus on USD pairs in terms of having a cemented bias and taking opportunities. But if pound USD can break to the downside like this, definitely bearish on the pair. Definitely looking for some type of pullback and some more shorts. So keeping a close eye on that. In terms of, nope, not Aussie dollar. Let's go to USD CAD. In terms of dollar CAD, this one's looking pretty interesting. I quite like the looks of dollar CAD. It is a bit of a consolidation, but I do like consolidations because of what follows. It's typically you're going to see quite healthy breakouts, and if you can find a nice retest of that, nice pullback of that, you can expect a nice move. So I think dollar CAD is just kind of building up, getting ready for a big breakout. I spoke a lot about this level here for dollar CAD last week. This is 1.375, and I said if price can clear that, I would be pretty bullish on dollar CAD, because to me this would be like a big double bottom, and now it would be more of a triple bottom. But I said last week, if we could break through this, that would be, or maybe the week before, if we could break through this, that would be my reversal pattern. You know, we tapped into a very big area of demand to our left. If you can see what happened last time we were here, you know, massive move to the upside. We tapped into that area again. Perhaps more buyers are looking to jump into positions, and that could, of course, take dollar CAD higher. And of course, if the DXY does push higher as well, there's a good chance dollar CAD's going to join the party and see some more upside as well. So if we can break above this level, that would be the double bottom, but in this case, the triple bottom confirmed. And then I would be looking at something like this to try and ride it back into the highs there. That would just be a simple break and retest pattern for dollar CAD there. So quite interested in dollar CAD. It's still definitely a few days away from actually giving me a setup here. We still have to get the breakout, we still have to get the pullback, the entry. So that could still take a few days before even giving a decent setup there. But I do think there's something starting to brew here with dollar CAD for the buys. Shorts, I'm not really interested in. Like I've said, we're coming back into a big level of demand. Market looks pretty tired. I'd rather be looking for buys here for dollar CAD. So if you can't break through 1.376, 1.375, I think that'd be a fantastic opportunity to go long and take some buys there for dollar CAD. And Aussie dollar actually almost gave an entry. I mean, I haven't really been looking at the charts the past few days, so it's not like I would have entered the position. But I have been talking about this ascending channel here with Aussie dollar for quite some time. And I was looking for a test of the upper end of the channel. Yeah, very, very close to actually coming to the upper end of the channel. I'm looking around 0.664, 665 for a test of that area. In my book, that wouldn't have quite done it, so I probably wouldn't have entered the trade there. Like I said, I wasn't really looking at the charts the past few days. I was away. But if I was, I probably still wouldn't have entered a position there. I wanted the price to spike a little bit higher than that. But Aussie dollar has been a clean chart in fairness. Yeah, I mean, the market isn't perfect, really. And Aussie dollar has been far from perfect, to be honest. But yeah, it did spike higher. I mean, it kind of did what we expected to do because a lot of resistance building up here. Price kind of taking that out. Almost tested the upper end of the channel, and then we're seeing a swing back to the low. That's essentially what I wanted to see, but just, of course, to test the actual upper end of the channel, find some entries up there, stops above the high, and then a swing back to the low. That's all I was looking for in Aussie dollar. I do think price can break to the downside and see a lot more downside, but the plan was if I can short the high and just ride it to the low of the channel, that would be a good trade in itself. I can probably walk away for 1 to 2, 1 to 3, maybe even more than that in terms of return on the trade. And then if things are looking good, maybe I can hold some positions to capitalize on maybe a breakout. Or if I do see a lot of rejection at the low of the channel, I can always just close the trade completely and move on to the next position. But yeah, that's really what I was interested in for Aussie dollar. Now that we're approaching the low of the channel again, there could be some more buyers coming up. You know, price has been stuck in this channel for quite some period of time now. So if you do see some more wicks rejection there, it does make sense to look for a bounce, look for a buy here. But again, when price is moving like this, when we're moving in an ascending channel like this, I'm always getting ready for price to break to the downside here. I'm never really looking to continue to buy a market like this. I'm either looking for the sell at the top of the channel or I'm waiting for price to break out and look for some pullbacks afterwards. If I'm looking for a buy, then I kind of want to see price give me a big sell-off first before I do talk about some buys, which I do think could happen as well. But that's probably, again, still quite a few days away as well. But for now, there might be some buys below the channel, but again, not a big fan myself. New Zealand dollar, something similar here as well. We had a bit of a rally, but price didn't really pick up much momentum. It's looking a little bit bearish now. But in my book, New Zealand dollar is just a pair, which is just ascending as well, like Aussie dollar, just not as aggressively. So not a big fan of this one unless we do push to the higher end of the channel, which we can look for some shorts to swing again the full length of the channel back to the lower end. At the moment, we kind of rejected somewhere in the middle. That for me is no man's land. I don't want to do any business there because you're kind of just in the middle of all the action where the opportunities are, especially in ranges or in channels. It's going to be at the highs, it's going to be at the lows in terms of risk reward, in terms of just finding healthy trades. Of course, not that you always find brilliant trades there, but you put yourself in a better chance to do that, and you much benefit from that. So when price is trading in the middle, I stay away. I don't try and analyze too much in terms of what I'm expecting next because really I'm not too bothered. I want to focus when price is here. I want to analyze that, see what price potentially could do next and take trades there at the top end and at the bottom end, but most likely the top end in ascending channels and at the bottom of descending channels. But it's looking pretty bearish now, and looks like we probably could see a bit more downside there for New Zealand dollar. Maybe if you're really interested, there could be some shorts and a pullback into this area. Like I said, it's in the middle, so I'm not a big fan of that. But if you're on the low time frames, if you're looking for a trade for a few hours, you might get away with that. I wouldn't really look for a sustained trade like a few days, but if you're going to drop to the 15, hold it for 3-4 hours, you might still find a successful trade there. So could keep an eye on that. But yeah, I'm expecting more downside for New Zealand dollar. I'm expecting eventually a break to the downside, but that's probably still a while away. In terms of gold, so gold, we came into resistance last week. We smashed into that, and price did struggle really to break through that. And it looks like the consolidation is still continuing. Now, gold is still very much a bullish market. I do think price can very much break to the upside and continue a lot further, but the market's not ready yet. There's still a world where gold can break to the downside as well. Of course, it can break it any which direction, but because the trend is still so aggressively to the upside, I know we're pausing now, but in the grander picture, the market's still very aggressively bullish. I'm still going to focus on the buying side of things, but of course, I'm going to be quite careful in terms of where I do buy. I said this is an area which I'm interested in, and this area, actually, if I drop the 4-hour chart, I see a bit better. So these are the two levels I'm interested in to pick up some longs, because they're kind of significant levels where I know that price will have a good chance of at least bouncing from. I might not catch a big move of gold, but I think I've got a good chance of at least catching a bounce from these areas. Then we'll see where price takes us afterwards. But yeah, very strong reaction off that high there for gold. Yeah, I wouldn't really be looking to do anything really at this area. I know we got these higher lows, 1, 2, 3. Could potentially put a fourth in, but I'm not liking the way we retraced here. Very aggressive on the way up, pretty aggressive on the way down. So it's like a big inverse V-shaped pattern, which normally does mean more downside. So gold, we might bounce shortly because of these higher lows here. We might see another bounce, but I do think this will be the bigger move. So might see something like this, a push back into resistance, a rejection of this kind of area, maybe something of a head and shoulder pattern, and then you get this sell-off. So I do think gold's like to see a bit more downside. I think we'll probably push up first before we do see a drop. So there might be some intraday opportunities there, but again, for gold, I'm just interested in buying off this area or this area because that's where I do see significant support. And when a market is flat like this, I want to be buying off the strongest support levels and be away from all the noise and put my stop loss in relatively safe areas. And in terms of silver, still very bullish on this one, although we're starting to kind of struggle a little bit. You can see price did create some new highs recently, but we did have a pretty aggressive sell-off there towards the end of last week. Nothing's really changed for silver for me. I still do think the market is very, very bullish, and I still do think we can see a lot more upside, but I think I'll be looking for a slightly deeper retracement into this level, again, 37.25, before I do take any buying opportunities. I do think there's a lot more upside to come for silver. I'm still looking for a push to 40 and a lot higher prices still expected. Market is still very bullish, don't get it twisted. Yes, we had a bit of a sell, an aggressive sell there. I think that's natural. The market's kind of running out of steam. You might just be seeing a deeper retracement. So still going to keep a close eye on this area here, 37.2, and hopefully can find some nice buying opportunities at that level. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of a run through the USD side of things. It looks like dollar strength's coming to the market. I'm not quite convinced just yet. Kind of want to see what the DXY can give us in terms of what we're doing at that level. I do think price will break to the upside, so that's kind of my expectation. But expectations, especially in trading world, isn't necessarily too important because it's more so what the market actually does rather than what you're expecting, because you could be expecting one thing, something else happens, is there an opportunity to potentially trade that something else which you didn't expect? If you could still profit from that, so what if expectations were wrong? It's about kind of what trade did you take and how did you manage that. So I do expect price to break up, so that's kind of what I'm getting ready for. But if things change, if I start to see price reject this very well, wicks, momentum shift back to the bears, I will be looking for shorts on the dollar. or you might see price roll over, but we'll see how that does develop. Anyway, what's up, Pavinator? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Yes, it did. No, I didn't manage to enter a sell. I've been away for the past few days, so I haven't been looking at the charts. But even if I did, Aussie dollar didn't quite hit the upper end of the channel for me anyway. So it would have been a close one. I might have debated an entry, but yeah, it would have been nice if price actually spiked into the high of the channel. Okay, nice. Into the sell at 0.65997, looking for a downward trend, currently in profit. Aussie, nice. Go on, Pavinator. Do you have a target for that? I know we've spoke a lot about buys from 0.62. Are you looking to hold the shorts all the way to 0.62, or do you have another idea in mind? Ahmed, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Good morning. Annie, what's up? Welcome. Yeah, we just went through gold. If there's a specific time frame you want me to take a look at on gold, let me know. What's up, Adams? Yes, we can take a look at the DAX, no problem. Forex Guru is at the European Session Sentiment Report, okay. What's up, William? I said it again. What's up, Will? Good morning. I hope you're doing good. Welcome to the stream. Weekend was good. Thank you for asking. Hope your weekend was good as well. We need to stop that habit. Yeah, we'll take a look at the DAX, no problem. US 30, okay, we'll take a look at that as well. Pound Aussie, okay, we'll go through that. No problem. Of course, any other requests, drop it down in the chat. So with the DAX, I did keep an eye on the DAX. We've been a bit flat. We are still bullish. What's up, Malik? Welcome to the stream. Weekend was good. Rest of the week was good. I was away. So yeah, had a good end to the week. Yeah, had a good end to the week. Thank you for asking. Hope your week was good as well. It's good to be back on the streams though. I've missed the commentary and the chat from you guys, so good to be back. But yeah, definitely had a good week. Thank you for asking. But yeah, I've been keeping a close eye on the DAX. It's been quite sideways. I feel like a big retracement's on the card for the DAX, because when we do kind of grind like this, I mean, it could still go on for quite a while. I'm not saying the retracement should happen now. This could still go on for a few more days before eventually something like this does happen. But I'm dropping to the 4-hour chart. I'm seeing price kind of really struggle at the highs here, which again is a sign that we're kind of running out of steam. We're no longer aggressively bullish. It's no longer like prices ripping to the upside anymore. We're starting to struggle. Yes, the market's still bullish, but we're running out of steam. So I would say if you're looking for opportunities on the DAX, I still quite like the buys down here because, number one, the market's still bullish. Higher time frame is still up. The trend's still up. So I still like buys off the low. Essentially, this is kind of like a consolidation anyway. So it does make sense buying low off the low of the consolidation. But the one thing I would say, though, is I wouldn't be looking for any kind of crazy move with the DAX in terms of, okay, if I buy here, my expectation of the trade is not to swing it all the way here and rip to new highs. My expectation is probably looking for more of a bounce, maybe to the 50% point of this kind of range here. So you got the low of the range, the high of the range, 50% around here somewhere. If I can get a move back to there, I think I'd be happy. Of course, you might not get the biggest risk reward on the trade, but it's more so the market's really flat right now. I know that this is a very strong level of support. We've respected it 3 times, really nice rejections each time. I know that if price gets there again, if I see some more rejection, I think that's a sensible place for a buy. But I'm well aware that the DAX is running out of steam. We're starting to put lower highs in. We're starting to fail at highs as well. Maybe the DAX is going to have that retracement. So if I do get a buy here and I do start to lock in some profits early, in worst case scenario, price does go against me. I walk away with maybe a break even or a small win. And maybe if price does rip to the upside, you can always leave positions to run as well. If you're going to have closed targets, lock in gains, but leave positions to run, because you never know. Maybe price is going to rip to the upside. So you can always leave, 50% to run, and that 50% can either smash into highs, or maybe the 50% does trail against you and comes back to break even. But lock in gains where you can, because the market is unpredictable. New information does come in. Which with each candlestick you get a bit more information on what the market's likely to do next. So yeah, possibly you could see a swing back to the highs, but I'll be a bit more conservative with the DAX. So yeah, the DAX 24K looks like a very sensible place for a buy. I'd wait for rejection there. It looks like price has done pretty good rejection from the highs there. If we can make our way back to support, I think it's still a very sensible place for a buy. But yeah, the DAX is definitely flat now. I do think a bigger retracement is due. We probably will get a bigger sell-off at some point. But I think I would wait for price to kind of break through significant support like the 24K level there. Then we can start talking about some bigger shorts on the way down. And then we'll have the retracement mode. But for now, buys still make the most sense to me. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the DAX. We'll go through the US 30 next and pound Aussie as well. Annie, what's up? Bullish trade on gold. Okay, buying price 33.65 with a stop loss 3300. Do you have any suggestions? Okay, we can go through that as well. I'm bullish on gold as well, pretty much long term. Of course, gold's been very flat. It still rejected the highs last week, so it's a bit awkward, but I would definitely take a look at that position for you. Follow the trend. What's up? Yes, I had a good weekend. Thank you for asking. Hope you had a good weekend as well. Amos, welcome to the stream. Good morning. I am doing good today. Thank you. Hope you're well. Yes, we could take a look at New Zealand yen. I'll go through the yen pairs. I think the yen pairs are still very interesting. Some of them still need some work in terms of retracement before I get some entries, but where a lot of my focus is for the next kind of week or two is actually with the yen pairs. I think once the USD gives me a bit more clarity, I'll be focusing on the USD pairs just as much as well. But yen pairs, I kind of already know what I'm looking to do there. I'm just waiting for it to happen and waiting for some entries. So I'll go through a bunch of them in a moment, but I'll take a look at the US 30 next, pound Aussie. We'll take a look at Annie's gold position, and then we'll go through New Zealand yen as well. Follow the trend. Current insights on gold was considering some buys at 33.18 level and just trade the range. Okay, I'll take a look at that as well. I'll go through my watch list as well. A lot of it's to do with yen pairs, some other pairs as well in there, but the bulk of it is yen. Anyway, let's take a look at US 30. So with US 30, we did what we've been expecting price to do, which is basically create some new all-time highs. US 500 did that, NAS did that. We only did it this morning with the gap as well. But yeah, US 30 has been very bullish. We've been operating within this channel here. Very lovely swing to the upside, lovely correction there, and then eventually we did break to the upside there, and we have seen just about new all-time highs. So now it's kind of, I would personally step back with US 30 because we had that target of new all-time highs. Prices just literally ticked that off. So I would wait to see how price now reacts to this. I would still say US 30 is very bullish, but I wouldn't want to be the person buying this straight away. Buying the next dip possible after highs are being created. Sometimes we do tend to see slightly bigger pullbacks, so that could catch you off guard a little bit. If the market does just continue to rip to the upside, then yeah, sure, the next pullback after that, I wouldn't mind to get involved and take some buys there and follow the trend from that regard. But now that we have just created fresh highs, I'll kind of let the market kind of digest and kind of do what it wants to do first, and we'll get a bit more information because maybe we do have a bit more of a sell-off. This is still a pretty big level of resistance. You can see last time we're here, massive sell-off. Over there, massive sell-off as well, and now there again. So, although US 30 is a long-term bullish market, you do expect price to rip through highs and continue. This is still a very, very big level of resistance. So I wouldn't really be looking to try and buy and try and catch, small pullbacks off this because yes, momentum's up, but this is still a very big level. And I can imagine a lot of buyers anyway, who bought early, maybe looking to lock off some positions, close some positions, and that could give us a bit of a bearish reaction. It is a very significant level. So yeah, US 30, I would still be bullish. I would still be trying to look for buy opportunities because I would still expect higher prices as well. But I would want price to kind of develop first. I'm not prepared to jump in straight away. Like I said, we've seen quite a lot of big reactions here. Maybe we'll do another one. So if price can continue to rip to the upside, then yeah, maybe some pullbacks after that could look good. And we just follow the trend on the way up. There's a bit of a trend line here connecting the dots. Maybe you can find some more entries off the back of that. So still bullish on US 30, still looking for more upside. But be careful with this area. I'm not too sure. We could still see a big sell-off here potentially. And that will kind of change my bias altogether. If you do just continue to rip to the upside, fantastic. The pullbacks will be looking good, especially intraday pullbacks. And we can continue to ride momentum. But right now, we're in an awkward area. So I'll just let the market do what it needs to do. Probably find out what the next move is probably in the next 24, 48 hours. So I'll be a bit patient with US 30 for now. Pound Aussie is actually a pair on my watch list. So this is a pair I'm actually looking to trade. It's in a bit of a consolidation now, but I do anticipate a pretty big breakout. I actually like this stemming from the monthly chart. We had wicks over here dating back to COVID, March 2020. Prices tried to break through that. We had a very big wick then, April. Then, of course, May, small-bodied bullish candle. June, small-bodied bearish candle. So momentum is basically dying off here. So I do think we can have a bit of a drop there from a monthly perspective. And as I go through the time frames, you can see we're kind of just consolidating now. So basically, momentum to me is run out in terms of the buyers. I'm expecting a deeper retracement. There's a couple of areas I'm looking for price to get to. This high being one. This high being another. And that kind of, yeah, just below 2, which is a really big psychological level. I would suggest price got a good chance of getting there. So I'm pretty bearish here on Pound Aussie. But I do need to see a big breakout of that consolidation. And actually, if I go to the daily chart. This is the support level that does need to break to confirm that, okay, we've broken the consolidation. It has technically broken because of that candle on Friday. It did close below. Of course, the days start off pretty bullish, but then again, it's just, just today's candle. We've still got 11 hours left before that candle's due to close. This could potentially pull back and leave a big wick. It, of course, push on even further. We'll get that kind of confirmed close, of course, later today, and we can see how price does close in relation to the level. But we did technically break out last week, so I'm interested to see how this candle does close. Now, normally when I look for breaking retests in my kind of trading style, I normally look for fairly big breakouts before I do look for a retest. I'm not the type of trader to look for a very quick break and retest in terms of not looking for much of a break before I look for the retest. I look for a pretty big breakout before I do look for the retest. Reason being, they're a lot safer. If price does break through a level, let's say this is a level price is trading at, and let's say price does clear a level. Trying to move this out of the way. I have no idea what's going on there. It's not moving. Anyway, so let's say that's a level, and price just clears the level like this and has a quick break and retest. I'd rather wait for price to really push away from the level and then look for the retest afterwards, because in this scenario, price has already shown a lot of momentum to break through. Now, if you're seeing momentum like that, again, that's a sign that, okay, price really does mean business. Of course, there will be times where you do get really big breakouts and they do turn to be a fake out as well. Of course, nothing's 100%, but these breakouts are more, have a higher tendency to be a fake out, because haven't seen much momentum. Price only just cleared the level enough to take out some stop losses as well before price does roll back into the level. So a higher chance of this being a fake out rather than this move. So if you do see a much bigger breakout and a much bigger pullback, the reliability of this holding and this continuing is quite higher than something like this as well. And that's kind of what we got here. Just a slight break to the downside, and now price is already coming back for a quick retest. So I'm not quite sold with that. I'm still looking for a slightly bigger breakout than that before I do look for some pullbacks. But the idea is the same, really. Looking for price to break to the downside, clear the level, find some shorts, and then hopefully you can ride it back down to this area. But that would probably be the first area to book some profits, and then looking to target this area next. But yeah, pound Aussie, I'm pretty bearish. This is the range pretty much, so not really interested to do anything inside of this range, to be honest. If you're looking to trade the range and buy low, sell high, that makes sense. Ideally, probably want price to break back inside and retest. So if you can get something like this, another strong close, that could be a nice entry in itself. And then that's your trade to ride it back to the high. Or of course, if you're looking for the short, you're waiting for price to push to the high of the range and short from there. But if you're looking to trade the range in pound Aussie, again, that makes sense as well. But I'd just be looking for price to kind of maneuver, create a reaction, and then look for the buy off the back of that. Same thing with the shorts up there. But if you're looking for the breakout, which is kind of something I'm interested in because I think that's going to be the bigger move. Of course, waiting for a more kind of clear-cut breakout of this level, then some shorts on the retest. In terms of gold, so yeah, I do like gold longer term. I'm very bullish on it. I'm looking for buys around 32.60 and also 31.40. Those are the two levels that make sense for buys for me because I'm not looking at anything crazy. All I'm looking at is areas where I found a lot of support and I've seen strong reactions. This level being one, very strong reaction to push to the upside, strong level of support. And this level as well, strong reaction there too, another strong reaction there as well. I think that would be an area which gives us a good chance to catch another bounce. So I do like the buys from those areas. I think those are smart places for a buy. I might not catch the humongous move to the upside for gold, but I know there's a good chance for a reaction. And if I can catch that reaction, it's probably enough for me to go to break even or secure some small gains from the trade, and we'll see where the rest goes. In terms of your position, Annie, you're buying from 33.65, which is around there. So is that a trade you took last week? And stop loss 3300, which is here, so underneath this low here. So I don't mind it because of course you're kind of looking to play structure here a little bit. You got the higher lows there, you're essentially looking for another one. There is some sense there, but the only reason I don't like the idea as a whole is because gold is just a very flat market right now, and I'm not really looking to follow momentum. I'm more kind of looking to go against momentum really with gold, and that's really the idea when you got ranging markets. In trending markets, of course, you're looking to go with momentum. You know, if you've got a trending market that is steaming to the upside, you're looking to follow momentum in this condition. But when market is flat and range bound like what gold has been doing, you're more looking to fade momentum. So when you're seeing price kind of push up and down, you're looking to try and sell that, trying to buy that, trying to sell that, buy that, sell that, so on and so forth. So I'm not trying to follow momentum in those conditions because momentum isn't being sustained. It's just toppling over. You know, every time we do see a nice run to the upside, we reverse that. Nice run to the upside, we reverse that. Nice sell-off, we reverse that as well. So I try to stay away from trend following techniques when price is ranging. And that's kind of what looks like how your trade is based on, because we are seeing some type of trend here of higher highs and higher lows. And it looks to me that you kind of look and try and anticipate that next higher low. You got your stop loss below the prior swing low. Now you're looking for something like that, which very much could happen. It's all a probability game. I'm not saying that won't happen. It's just my kind of view on these conditions is I try to not look to take these type of structures when things are very, very messy as a whole. Of course, if this was like in a trending condition, like when gold was doing all of this, great. There's some higher highs and higher lows there. It makes sense because there's a lot of momentum in the market. You expect it to continue. So that's a more optimal place to follow bullish structure. In this case, it's not as optimal. Again, not to say we can't do that. Gold is still long-term bullish. I do think we will break high at some point. But I would rather wait for price to push to support like this and try and find some buys off that, because I think my stop loss would be in a bit of a safer place. The market has to work a little bit harder to stop me out, basically. So yeah, I can see the logic there, looking for the next higher low. Possibly we could see that happen. Yeah, I would be a bit cautious there. If you can get a swing back to the high there, you're looking pretty good. Lock in some gains there. Maybe you catch the breakout. I like the stop loss placements below the swing low. It makes a lot of sense there. It's just the conditions are quite flat, which has just made the setup not as optimal as it could be. But in terms of the entry, I think it makes sense. In terms of stop loss, it makes sense in terms of following the bullish structure. So I like that aspect of it. It's just the conditions are quite flat for gold, so I would be a bit cautious. But in my view, I'm kind of bullish from these two areas. Price may not even get there. Maybe we do swing from that area, but I'd rather kind of just buy it off the lows and get some stop losses underneath that, because we're very flat. I kind of want to buy as low as possible, really. But yeah, that's kind of my idea. For the trend, you're looking to buy 33.18. Okay, so that's more of like an intraday idea there. See, I don't mind the buys intraday here, because intradays, that's kind of a big kind of talking point as well, because from a swing perspective, you have to kind of be cautious of what price could do for the next few days. From an intraday, of course, it's pretty self-explanatory, but with an intraday idea, you can be in and out of the trade, and you can be in and out of a trade and still be in the wrong direction in terms of, okay, the market is falling, but when I did buy it and I got out in the next few hours, price did rise, so I could profit off that, and then maybe the price did fall again after that. So you don't necessarily have to be right in terms of where price is going. You're just there in for a short time, so you're buying from and selling from areas of value. So I do agree on the lower time frames. Price coming to a nice area of demand. We've got those higher lows. I think price is due a bit of a bounce here. We've had a big fall. We're starting to become quite corrective. I do think gold is going to have a bit of a bounce here. But I do think we probably will continue lower. So if you can profit on a move like that, lock in some gains, you can probably still walk away with a healthy return on that trade. Nice 1 to 2, 1 to 3 maybe. So from a low time frame perspective, I like the buys from this area. That's where we got the last swing low, nice area of demand, which started this big up move. So yeah, I think that's a nice place for a buy. But yeah, I'm not too sure about a sustained move to the upside. It could happen, of course. We can't see into the future. The market is still quite choppy, but in terms of a solid place for a buy, I do agree. This is the previous swing low. It does make sense for a buy, but I would watch out as we come back into this resistance here. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with gold. I'm looking to buy a little bit further down. I'll see if price can get there, but gold hasn't been the best market to trade as of late. It's been very, very choppy. And if you're trading gold the same way you traded here, almost guaranteed you probably would have lost some money there, which again isn't the worst thing in the world. Of course, you have to go through spells of profit and spells of drawdown. It's just a natural kind of growth as a trader, and even at the top of your game, you'll go through drawdowns as well, because you can't see into the future. You be trading aggressively through here, and rightly so. The trend is aggressive, momentum is aggressive. You're not gonna know that this condition is gonna happen. But yeah, once you start to see some signs of the market being flat, maybe after kind of the third rejection here. Oh, let me choose that. After kind of like the third rejection here, 1, 2, 3. That's kind of a sign that, okay, we're starting to enter a new kind of condition of the market now. We're starting to become choppy. Of course, if price was to suddenly rip through the highs again, well, we're bullish again and momentum is strong again. But yeah, that's probably a sign that we're starting to run out of juice. Now we did it a fourth time as well. Again, that's another sign to me that this is now a very established consolidation, or at least a very established resistance level. If we're to break through that, that would be a very significant break now. And we could probably expect to see a big swing to the upside for gold if that was to happen. As of yet, we're kind of just still quite flat. Okay, so next up, I'll go through New Zealand yen. I'll probably go through some more yen pairs whilst I'm at it. Dollar suit chef, Marie, we'll take a look at that as well. Solar, appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. What do I think about Aussie CAD? I will go for Aussie CAD for you as well. Euro USD missed a short entry. Okay, we'll take a look at that, Will. No problem, CS integrated. I can go through DXY if you want me to take a look. Okay, last week trade did not expect this deeper pullback though. Yeah, again, we're not to know what's going to happen as the setup does play out. But yeah, I do think the setup makes sense in terms of, okay, you're following the bullish structure. It's just in those conditions in the consolidation is where things can get quite choppy. But you never know. Gold's still very much in the higher time frame, very aggressive bullish trend. We could literally break out at any point. I still do expect us to break to the upside. I'm still just looking to buy the market as well. We should have to wait and see, really. And as long as you manage the risk, the worst case scenario, you take a loss in your position. That's not going to define you as a trader. But hopefully the trade does play out for you. Yusuf, we'll go over Euro G on the 15, sure thing, no problem. Follow the trend, happy to help. Yeah, okay, yeah. Intraday setup makes sense. I wouldn't look for a sustained move in gold because of the conditions. But yeah, if you're looking for intraday setup for like a day, or even like a session in a day, the US session, that makes sense because you're kind of in and out. You're not there for all the noise, you're not there for the chit chat. You're just there to take up your profit, how many pips you're looking for, and then you're out. That way, you kind of don't get caught in the mess. So I agree. Anyway, we'll go through New Zealand yen. So New Zealand yen is a pair which I'm looking at. It's still quite far away from actual setup. Actually, Aussie yen is a slightly better pair. Aussie yen and New Zealand yen are very similar pairs, so I kind of look at them both in the same light, and we kind of choose between the two which one's looking better. And yeah, Aussie yen is looking a little bit better, but I still think there's more upside to be had here for New Zealand yen. We're very, very corrective now, so I have to be quite careful because when things are corrective like this, I do expect us to eventually go for a bit of a sell-off. But I do think the price will sell off to put another higher low in to continue higher. And that's kind of the trade I'm interested in. But as of right now, we're kind of just grinding higher. And I'm not really seeing much of an opportunity here, really, with New Zealand yen. Because if you're looking for shorts, well, okay, you can look to try and short the highs here. But you have to be very, very careful with these shorts. You want to be in and out because you're not seeing much of a sell-off. You're seeing very short-term moves. Not seeing much downside. Of course, eventually you might see a big sell, but it's going to be very, very difficult to predict exactly when that's going to happen. So if you're looking for shorts here, you're looking for a quick move, then you're probably going to be exiting that trade. Buys make sense as well because, of course, we are trending to the upside for the most part. We are still seeing higher lows, except it's a very, very choppy market. It's not like we're trending well here. It's a very slow grind. So is it worth even looking to buy this? Probably not. I'll wait for a slightly deeper pullback to kind of take out some of these weaker lows. That way, if price can start to give me signs of a higher low, I think there'll be a much bigger move. So I'm kind of looking at a push more so into this kind of area. Nice kind of fresh area of demand there. Somewhat of a trend line connecting the dots here. It's kind of where I'm looking for a buy. away from all the noise of this channel, break to the downside, see the next high low. And that's kind of what I'm interested in with a buy. Yeah, Aussie I think looks a little bit cleaner, but if I can get something like that, and if it does give me a better entry than Aussie, and I probably will take this one instead. But that's something I'm looking at, away from all the noise there, back into a nice area of confluence. The trend has been to the upside for the most part. Not really interested in the sells, so the buys there make the most sense to me. But yeah, from a 4-hour perspective, that's really what I'm interested in. You got a channel there to operate in. You can look for some sells, but you're looking for a short-term move really, so be careful with that. Maybe some buys off the low of the channel, but again, I don't really see this as a trend worthwhile following. I'd rather wait for a deeper correction, deeper retracement, take out some of these weaker lows, and perhaps from that we might see a bigger reaction to the upside. So I think that would be the more appealing trade idea. The bigger pullback into that area than some buys following. I'll go through some other requests before I go through the rest of the yen pairs. So dollar CHF I'll take a look at, Aussie CAD I'll take a look at as well. Euro USD, Pound USD in the 15 as well. FX Guru aggressively enters short on Pound Aussie. Okay. Is that a short you just entered now? I am short bias on Pound Aussie, so I do agree with the direction. Not too sure about the entry though, because we just had a very aggressive bullish candle there. I mean, sometimes those candles can be deceiving, and they do come straight back down. But still, I probably wouldn't bank on that, especially if the area of support was still holding. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that. I said I'd wait for price to break through, then retest. That would be the more kind of safer option. Of course, I'm sure you got your reasons for shorting that, but personally, I would wait for price to kind of clear support first before entering a short. Okay, we'll go through. Was it? Yeah, dollar CHF. Then we'll take a look at Aussie CAD. So dollar CHF is actually a USD pair I'm keeping a close eye on. There's been an interesting level of resistance, which price did reject pretty well. So you've got lovely support here running through the market. You got support there, of course, then internal resistance, nice rejection, nice sell-off. After that happened, I was expecting price just to kind of come back and test the lows and probably see some new lows. Hasn't seen that happen yet. We're looking quite bullish, of course, this morning. USD's up. Looks like dollar CHF might be pushing back into resistance. We'll see what price does off the back of that. Again, I'm expecting more dollar strength. So pairs like dollar CHF, I'm kind of waiting for price to break to the upside and take some buying opportunities off the back of that. That's more of a long-term play I'm looking at, but I'm not really interested in buying dollar CHF until I do see price break above this zone, because that will tell me that, okay, price is now breaking past the sellers, because we've been doing a pretty good job, consistent lower highs for quite a while. Price can now break through that. Would have cleared this bearish trend, and now and that will be my green light for some more buys. And of course, expect DXY to do something similar as well. So dollar CHF at the moment, I would say keep a close eye at 0.805, because that could either be a very nice place to sell at again, for maybe a big double top and a big sell-off, or it could be what we say that, okay, the market is now bullish, we're looking for a higher low and a continuation off the back of that. So that's kind of the make or break point for me for dollar CHF. But at the moment, looking pretty bullish here. I think if you're looking at intraday opportunities, you might be looking at something like this. Another higher low there for continuation back into resistance. So that is if you're looking at something intraday. Didn't mean to choose that one there. So yeah, if you are looking at something intraday, that would make sense to me. Lovely kind of shift in momentum, breaking outside of that consolidation, retest, maybe retest of the trend line as well. Then you've got probably a push back into resistance there, 0.805. So If you're on the lower time frames, buys look good. If you're waiting for more of a swing trade, probably more interested to see what price does at resistance up there. So yeah, going to keep a close eye on that level. And of course, DXY in a similar situation. You've got your level running through the market there. If we reject this, we're probably going to come back down. That will probably mean dollar CHF comes back down. If the DXY breaks through this, then you're looking at sustained momentum to the upside for dollar CHF as well, and some buying opportunities there too. So again, intrinsically related, keep an eye on both, and you can kind of use both to kind of agree with each other and find opportunities off the back of that. But yeah, dollar CHF, not kind of cemented the swing bias just yet. From an intraday point of view, I like the buys as I suggested on the lower time frames. So I pull back into that area, maybe on like an hourly 50-minute chart looks good. But yeah, that's only intraday. In terms of Aussie CAD's been quite flat. Hasn't been my favorite market, so not so eager to go and trade it or anything really. I'm zooming right out just to see the overall picture of Aussie CAD. A lot of rejection at the lows here. Still kind of really failing to get momentum going. Drops to the weekly chart. Still kind of stalling at resistance there. Daily chart. Starting to come into resistance and fail at that as well. I've got a feeling that Aussie CAD may kind of roll over back to the downside here. We're kind of really failing to see sustained momentum. And in my book, looks like another lower high is forming and a push to the downside. As long as we don't break through the high there, which at this moment in time isn't looking likely. So I do think we can get a bigger push to the downside here for Aussie CAD. And that should give us a big sell. So if I was looking to trade Aussie CAD, I'll just be looking at shorts at this high really. And just looking for a short-term move and then hoping that maybe I catch a bigger move. So what I mean in terms of that is looking for price to drive back into resistance, wait for some rejection. If things look good, get into an entry. Then maybe I just trade it back into support around here, let's say we find support there. Trade it back into that area, lock in some gains, and then see what price does there. If we start to see a lot of rejection, maybe close the trade potentially, or lock in some more gains. Or if momentum does continue and things look good, maybe I can hold positions to run back into this low or this low, depending on how aggressive you want to be with your trade. But it's more of a sideways market now for Aussie CAD. It's quite flat. So the idea is we're not really looking to follow momentum here because there is no momentum. So I wouldn't treat this as a trending market. It's more of a market that's chopping around sideways, and you're kind of looking to sell high and buy low. So sell high and buy low, wait for price to be at extremes, look for shorts around these areas. If you're looking to buy, I'll focus on these areas for a buy. It's not a trending market, so we're not so overly focused on trying to follow momentum here, because momentum isn't really here, and for what momentum we do have, it's not being sustainable. We're seeing some nice rallies there, but not really seeing much of a continuation of that. So yeah, and again, condition is a whole kind of element in itself. A lot of people kind of miss that out, especially kind of new traders, which of course you go into that. You're going to be getting experience as you go along, as you would do with any new challenge or whatever endeavor you start. Of course, you're going to start from a fresh slate, and you're going to make mistakes and learn along the way. But one thing I would say is keep a close eye on conditions. And what I mean by conditions in its simplest form is just what the market is doing. Is it trending? Is it sideways? Is it aggressively trending? Is it softly trending? Can you not quite tell what the market is doing? With that case, probably leave it alone. Kind of taking that into consideration is a huge part of trading, because you'll have a trading strategy, whether it's trend following or reversals or mean reversion, breakouts, whatever it is. you have to understand which conditions is that strategy optimal in terms of, okay, if you're looking for reversals, well, don't be trying to take those reversal trades in a very aggressive trending condition because you're going to get ripped up. You want to be taking reversal trades in kind of lightly trending markets which are not very aggressive, markets which are showing a lot of fatigue, which are kind of, frequently reversing a lot as well. If the markets are frequently reversing trends, well, there's a good chance that you can capitalize on that as well with your reversal strategy. Just like if you're looking to follow momentum, well, make sure that you're in a trending condition and not sideways where momentum kind of just depletes. So you have to kind of understand which condition you are in, and that could be the difference between profitability and not profitability, because if you're just deploying a strategy wherever and whenever, well, you're going to see kind of wherever, whenever results as well. So that is a very important point, slept on quite a bit as well, because everyone's so focused about strategy, kind of forget that, okay, it's actually optimal to trade that strategy. And for the most part in FX, you have to be quite flexible because most of the time conditions aren't great, especially if you're trend following, which most people are. You have to pick your moments. Anyway, we'll go through. We went through Aussie CAD and dollar CHF. We'll go through Euro USD and Pound USD. Okay, Danny, we'll take a look at NAS as well. Yusuf, long position Friday, Euro today. I was stopped out, break even. Okay, yeah, momentum reverse. Yeah, I mean, I think you just managed the trade well, to be honest, Yusuf. You're not to know that suddenly that momentum was going to reverse against you, and price was going to look as bearish as it is doing right now. I could imagine that you probably had some targets, maybe at the high here, which if I was in a buy, I probably would have been looking at the same targets as well. Which is why we manage our positions, because with every new candle, every new piece of data, new information comes in, and you may have been looking for a push to this area when you hopped into the trade, but that might not still be true in a few hours or a few days or however you're looking to hold your position, which is why I'm a fan of moving your stops to break even, managing the trade, taking profits where it makes sense to take profits, because when you get into the trade and you're looking for a push to whichever level, it might make sense when you get into the trade, but new information comes, new candlesticks come, and it might not make sense for that target anymore. And on the other side of the coin, it might mean that you could potentially hold for longer as well, because you're seeing really aggressive momentum, prices smashing through levels like they're nothing. So it probably makes sense to probably hold into that position a little bit longer than you originally had. So in this case scenario, of course, targeting probably the highs there, I will guess. Yeah, I think it's a pretty reasonable target. The overall trend is still up, still seeing higher lows. There was a pretty good chance that price does get there. But of course, as price is consolidated and broke to the downside, not looking as likely anymore. We've got some new information. At this point, we'll probably see more of a move to the downside. So yeah, I would say that's good management. Of course, not every trade is going to be a home run. It'd be nice if it was, but that's just not the case. So in terms of the break-even part, I think that's just good management on the position. Because again, you don't want it to be a losing position, especially if you're in a position of strength and profit. You don't really want that to turn into a losing position. So break even, I think that's good management. But yeah, we'll go through Euro USD and Pound USD. I'll go through both in the 15 as well. But yeah, for the euro, it looks like price is shifting, because of course this was our most recent swing high in the market. This is our push down to create the swing low. Markets of course has rallied, and I was expecting prices to come back and retest the highs, to be honest. So the fact that we haven't done that, the fact we just consolidated and then broke to the downside, a bit of a surprise to me. I wasn't expecting that. But now that I'm looking at the market again, this to me looks like a lower high. We've seen the confirmed break to the downside, and now that I'll be looking at a push, something like this, and a push back to these lows looks the more higher probability move. So Euro USD shorts look good now. And of course, from a 50-minute perspective, I'll just be looking at some pullbacks. You kind of got higher highs here, and then the market breaks structure, gives you a lower high, and then dumps. Now you're looking at another pullback for another lower high, then a continuation. I think this would be a nice area for a short, because you got the broken support there, you got a miniature kind of area of supply there. That would make sense for a short. Relatively healthy pullback, maybe close to the 50%, I would say, or bang on 50 really. 0.618, not too far away. So a really healthy place for a pullback in terms of the confluence, and you get some more downside off the back of that. But yeah, this bullish trend looks like it's reversing. This to me looks like a lower high formation off that high there. So now my expectation will be a push back to 1.156. So Euro USD on the 15, shorts look really good. A lot of momentum in that bearish move, which implies that this selling move means business. It's not like it's a slow grind to the downside. Then I'll be a bit more kind of torn if I want to look to short that and look for pullbacks off that. But because this was a very strong move, breaking through the floor really easily, the structure looks good. I would be looking at a pullback into the 1.171 area roughly, and take some shorts off the back of that for a new low. So yeah, Euro USD I actually do quite like on the intraday level. Looks really good. Pound USD I probably wouldn't say looks as good as Euro on the 15, because for the most part we are just about to test some really big level of support on the daily chart. So I wouldn't really want to be shorting close or into that area really, especially on an intraday time frame. So yeah, I wouldn't really be so optimistic about getting into pound USD unless there's a big retracement somewhere away from this level. But you can see prices coming quite close into that, and actually, if I extend that across, has been a pretty big level previously as well. Resistance, support. So to me, we're kind of just coming into a very significant level on the daily chart. So I would be quite cautious about operating these areas, especially on the lower time frames. If we take a look at Euro quickly, we don't really have a level like that running through the market where we are at anyway. I would say this is a pretty big level here. Resistance over there, support over there, but we still got a long way to go before we do hit those prices. If you look to the left, there's not really much going on. So Euro, you got a cleaner path, and I'd argue the price action is even cleaner as well. So I think Euro is the one to go with. Pound USD, I do have similar expectation in terms of I'm expecting price to break lower as well. But we've got this noise here to deal with. Resistance. Resistance over there. Resistance over there. Support. And support there as well. Arguably could be support there too. So, well, yeah. I'll take a look at the 15 anyway. But I think from that reason alone, I'll just focus on Euro anyway. But yeah, nice push to the downside. Wasn't as aggressive as Euro USD, which is why, again, I think Euro looks even better. It was a nice push to the downside, but structure wasn't brilliant. I think pound USD is probably due a bit of a push up anyway. Maybe coming back into this area. That was like the last main area of supply. Could see a pullback into that level, and then shorts off the back of that maybe. But yeah, I don't think that's a great opportunity. It's not like a standout area like Euro. Euro had a standout area. This is more like it could be an area which it does fall from. So I wouldn't be as optimistic to short, and especially the level coming into. Taking a look at Euro USD, you've got price support there, you've got a nice area of supply there, you've got the 50, 0.618 on the fib, you've got a lot more momentum in that bearish move, and you're not coming into any significant areas until we're down at those lows. So a lot of boxes being ticked there with Euro, not as many with pound. Setup doesn't look as good either. I'll just kind of stick with Euro. And again, they both do the same thing for the most part anyway. So, if you short Euro, you're practically short in pound anyway. But yeah, as for Euro and pound, that's kind of where I'm at. I'll go through the NAS 100 next. Agree on Euro, but selling the price is risky because it is overextended. Yeah, that's why I'd wait for a pullback. Yeah, I do agree, of course. Euro can come down as well, But yeah, euro is overextended, so I would wait for some type of pullback before shorting. I'm always looking for pullbacks. I'm never looking to short a market which has already made a big move down, or buy a market which has already made a big move up. I'm always looking for the discount of that to get involved. I'm never really looking to follow momentum outright. But yeah, I like those opportunities there for euro and pound. I think, especially from an intraday point of view, yeah, euro looks really, really good. Okay, so I'll go take a look at the NAS next for Danny and Campbell. Okay, so NAS 100. So yeah, NAS has been very, very bullish. Another gap as well. Probably going to go fill that to the downside, I reckon. I still think that's more of an aggressive idea, but I do think we're likely to fill the gap. So if you're looking for more of an aggressive trade, I would say shorts actually look good, but as to where, I would say it would have to be price coming back into the high there, and then taking the short to go fill the gap. I wouldn't take any shorts here, of course. But yeah, the market is still bullish overall. So once we do fill the gap again, I'll be looking at some more buys. I quite like this area here. Haven't come back to test that area of demand. Brief consolidation, big bullish candle pushing away. That would be a nice place to buy from. We've got a consistent trend line running through the market here as well. Might see a test of that area as well. So I quite like the buys from 23,100. I think that's a sensible place for a buy. Overall, still have that bullish trend in favor. A deep test into that area, test the trend line, area of demand, makes sense for a buy for me. And of course, you can go fill the gap as well. I think from an intraday perspective, you might be looking to short NAS to try and anticipate the gap filling, which I think makes a lot of sense, but at the same time, I think it's quite aggressive because at the end of the day, you're kind of shorting the highs of NAS, which is always a difficult thing to do, especially when we're in the bullish climate like we're in now. Price could always see higher prices before we do pull back. So this is the safer trade, kind of just following momentum, following the trend, doing what the market is doing. There could be some shorts off the high there. Like I said, more of an aggressive trade. There is a logic there because there's a high chance we do fill the gap. So you're kind of trading that scenario. But given the conditions, it's an excuse me. Given the conditions, it's definitely more of an aggressive trade. So I'll be careful with that. But if it was me, I would just be focused on the buys. Excuse me. All right, take care, Will. Have a good one, my man. Hopefully see you on the next stream. Don't forget to like and sub, peeps. Appreciate it. Yeah, guys, if you're enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out, and of course does promote the content a lot more. So if you are enjoying the streams, want to kind of show some love, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. Share with your friends as well. I do really appreciate that. Forex Guru, do you think trading analysis is better than focusing on one pair? Good question. I think it's really each their own, because some traders will just focus on one pair and that's it. And some traders will have, a watch list of kind of unlimited, really. My watch list is about 31 pairs I do trade, but I've seen traders with pretty much unlimited, and they'll let you trade any market they can get their hands on. All they're looking for is just a good opportunity. If it comes across on euro dollar, or it comes across on soybeans, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. So I wouldn't say there's a better scenario or a better kind of decision to choose in terms of I should just focus on one pair or many. I think it really depends on kind of your circumstances. Okay, if you're on the lower time frames, well, how low time frame are you? Are you trading on the 1 minute chart? Well, if you're trading on the 1 minute, you probably want to be looking at maybe max 2 or 3 pairs. You can get away with just looking at one pair on the 1 minute as well. If you're looking at something a bit more swing trading, probably at least looking at 3, 4, or 5, or you can be looking at a lot more. But you want to be looking at at least a few markets to kind of give yourself a bit more opportunities, because swing trading by definition, you're going to have less trades. So yeah, I wouldn't say there's a right answer there. Personally, I'm always in the kind of the belief that as a trader which is looking for good opportunities, doesn't necessarily matter what market it is really, as long as there's a good opportunity, we're here to take it. So I'm always going to be in the camp of trading more markets, looking for other markets to trade as well. I would always suggest kind of get experience with the market first. So I wouldn't suggest, okay, just go crazy, go bonkers and find as many charts as you can and just start trading them. I would look to kind of back test them and ease them into your trading. So yeah, I would always recommend looking for more opportunities. But as I said before, there are traders who just focus on one asset class or one market. So there is no right or wrong, but I prefer looking at more markets. Gives me more opportunities and more kind of flexibility as well. CS integrated, DXY waiting for price to reach or break 98.5. Yeah, I think that's a similar boat to me. I'm waiting for price to break kind of 98-ish, I think. Yeah, 98.2, 98.1, around there. Reason being that is a pretty big level on the daily chart for me. And if price can break above that, that would be a pretty kind of statement, a big statement to me in terms of, okay, the buyers are gaining control again. We're probably going to see price take off to the upside here. So I'm waiting for price to break above resistance, and that would be my kind of signal to be bullish. And after that, I'll be looking at pullbacks and more buys on the dollar or shorts on euro, shorts on pound. But yeah, if price can get above that, I'll be bullish. And you're looking for price to get above 98.5. Is that where you're looking to buy the dollar from, or is that like a target? No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. Yeah, true. Depends on how much time you have to focus on major pairs. Enough for me as I trade part-timer. Yeah, exactly. Of course, depending on your situation. Not everyone's got the same situation. Some people, full-time employment, you're a student, whatever. You have other commitments aside from trading. And of course, that really does factor in. Some people might only have, the evenings to look at the markets as well. So you can't even really day trade, too well, or at least maybe not in your desired session. So that has a part to play. It's very each their own, which is kind of why I like trading, because you can kind of design it to however you want it to be. You can be a really big swing trade in terms of you might have a long-term estimation of what pound New Zealand's going to do in the next year. Maybe fundamentals playing a big part into that, other reasons playing a big part into that, and you can just stick a position on and hold it for the next year if you want to. That could be your way of trading, or you could be a very aggressive scalper taking 20 trades a day in one session even. So there's so many avenues to take. There's so many different ways and styles of trading, which is why I quite like it, because it's quite personal, and depending on your situation, risk appetite, how aggressive you want to be, you can really mold it to whatever you want to be. So a lot of the questions when people do ask, should I do this, should I do that? Normally, I kind of just give the pros and cons to each side rather than say what you should do, because there are traders who want to do A or traders who are going to do B, both seeing success, but of course, maybe different circumstances, which is why they're doing different, making different choices. So, yeah, it does depend on circumstance. Depends on kind of your style as well, whether you're an aggressive scalper or maybe more relaxed swing trader. That's going to definitely play a role. Yeah, that's always my preference, Forex Guru, in terms of just having more markets to choose from. That's my preference. That's the reason why I do trade quite a few markets. I do look at all Forex majors, minors, gold and silver, US 30, and by the end of the year, hopefully oil as well. Add to that list. But yeah, that's my reason why I trade a lot of markets. Because sometimes markets I look at get choppy, and maybe for some reason CAD CHF is moving really well. Then I'm gonna look to trade CAD CHF. So that's the reason why I do trade other markets. But then again, other people who only trade a set few markets, or very few, they could become very accustomed to those markets, so they know the kind of the small nuances of that pair, and they're kind of more comfortable trading with it. I might not trade CAD CHF for like 6 months potentially, because maybe the USD pairs are performing well, the yen pairs are performing well. So because of that, I'm not very kind of used to trading CAD CHF, because I may only trade it once every 6 months potentially. So that's the pros of kind of focusing on a set few of pairs, is that you kind of get to know the pairs a bit more, and maybe you get more confident trading those set few pairs. So again, it really depends on the situation, but yeah, I'm always in the mindset of looking for more pairs to trade. Yusuf, thoughts on UJ and GJ? Okay, I'm assuming you mean the 50-minute chart for those as well. I will get to that. Oh, take profit. Okay, nice. I have sales for Euro, Pound, Aussie, New Zealand on top again. Okay, nice. Okay, did you re-enter those positions? Okay, waiting for GJ to break fast spot. Okay, I haven't gone through the yen pairs. I forgot about that. I'll go through them now, and then we can probably look at some more USD. So in terms of UJ and GJ, I'll start on the 4 hour, then I'll go to like the 15. So yeah, the 4 hour chart, I mean, start on the daily now, I'll go lower. But yeah, the daily looks like we're reversing in terms of seeing a higher low, and now we're seeing some upside. Looks like price could be pushing back to resistance now. It does look like price put a higher low in here, and now we're prepared to see another continuation. I do think the yen pairs do have a lot more upside to give. I'm quite bullish on the yen pairs as a whole. So, I mean, I'm not looking to buy dollar yen, but I do think we can see some more upsides here. So, I would expect us to reach the highs here at 149. So, from a 15-minute perspective, I'll just be looking at pullbacks on the way up. Had a nice bearish trend, that's reversed. Now we're seeing some higher highs and higher lows. So, I would be looking at some pullbacks, and this is like a nice range for a retest. So the price can pull back into this area at 147.9. That's kind of what I would be looking for price to come back and retest and see a buy from. So yeah, that's really what I'm looking for price to do. So yeah, I like that idea. Nice consolidation, not the biggest breakout. It'd be nice if it was a bit more aggressive. I mean, there's this area here as well. I'll probably keep an eye on just in case we see a deep kind of pullback. Price could do that as well, but I'd only be looking for buys. As long as we don't go and take out this low here, I would be very bullish there for USD in the 15. So first opportunity, looking for the retest of the range, then buys back into 149. Second idea, pull back into this area of demand, and then same idea, buys back into 149. So yeah, UJ buys look really good. It looks like reversed on the daily chart. Momentum looks good again. Starting to see some bullish structure in the lower time frames. Now just looking for pullbacks. Got a nice consolidation there for a retest. And of course, you got a nice area of demand just underneath, depending how big we pull back. I think there's some nice opportunities there to look into, and some buys back into 149 make the most sense. And I do think price will break through that as well. But I think if you're trading on the 15-minute chart, you're not too concerned about a humongous move. Even just to push back to 149 probably gives you a very big swing on that move. But yeah, dollar yen, looking at buys still, more upside looks likely. We'll go through GJ next. What's up, fella? Pharaoh Garns, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. No problem, better late than never. Hope you're doing good. Any markets you're looking at, feel free to share. Cease integrated. Okay, closed off the previous, open the new batch. Nice. Yeah. So Aussie's been dropping pretty hard. Euro pound ends the okay. Nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Hopefully dollar strength can sustain now. I am leaning towards dollar strength. I do think dollar strength is likely to come back into the market. I just want to see what price does at that resistance level, but I've got a feeling that we do go and break through, and hopefully now we can see the kind of full move for DXY. Forex, pound pairs. No, I haven't gone through pound CHF or pound NZD. I'll go through those for you. Take a look at pound yen first. So yeah, pound yen is taking its sweet time here. I do think we are likely to break to the upside and return to resistance. Still looking at push back into this level here at 205.923. That's still the direction I'm expecting price to trade in. Of course, at the moment, we are kind of struggling at resistance here at the moment. So price does have to kind of break through this level to really get going. And probably hence why we'll be consolidating for so many days now, because price is just trying to gather up the momentum, the speed to actually break through this level. But I like the wicks that we are seeing to the downside. It looks to me that price is finding support here and probably eventually does break to the upside. But again, I'm not going to buy into that. Maybe we don't break to the upside. I'd rather wait for price to actually break the level first, and then I'll look for opportunities on some pullbacks for retest and then a continuation. And yeah, there's a pretty big move to be had. If I measure that in pips, you still got quite a distance to go before price actually does hit that level, 706 pips roughly. So I'm quite liking the setup here for pound yen, but the big thing is the break to the upside is needed. You've got a lovely trend line there connecting the dots. I've got a feeling that a break to the upside is imminent. When it happens, retest, buys back to 206. So that's the plan from a swing perspective. In terms of like intraday, I'm not too sure what I'll do for this one, because the way I see it, market's extremely flat. Like I said, I do expect price to break to the upside, but would I look for some buys here? Nope. Would I look for some sells here? Maybe if I was looking for a very short-term move, because the consistency has been quite impressive here with pound yen. Valentine's price has pushed into this area and rejected it very well. You know, we've been pretty consistent with that. So maybe we do see another downside move for, again, a few candles. Maybe for the US session, we might see a bit of a drop to the downside there. So shorts off the back of that makes sense on the 50-minute chart. But the idea is that you're not here for a long time. You're here for a very short time and then you're done. I don't expect price to actually have a massive sell-off. And the way I see it, kind of still trading within a larger range. So yes, you're at the top here, but you're kind of in an area of a lot of fluctuation. So pound yen 50-minute chart, I think some short-term shorts look good. Long-term, I do see this break into the upside. So I wouldn't even be looking for a sustained move to the downside anyway. But especially off the back of the conditions, I think, yeah, you can get away with some shorts at this level of resistance. So I'll wait for like a nice bearish engulfing candle to come in, maybe some more wicks to the upside before looking for an entry. Then yeah, if I can ride it back into this area, that would be nice. Maybe the lows here as well. That could be like a second target. But yeah, market's just ranging, so short high, buy low would be the plan. And if you do end up breaking through this level, well, maybe we do push back to highs. I'll probably leave price alone after that. So yeah, not seeing much of an opportunity there for pound yen. Short, nice level to short from. But yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of what pound yen is doing. It's kind of just ranging within a range, which is, you know, chaos in itself. Okay, so we'll go through some pound pairs next for Forex. What is up, Anzondi? Greetings. Hope you're well. Tashi, good morning. Please take a look at the DAX. No problem. We'll go through the DAX as well. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple pound pairs, pound CHF, pound NZD. So pound CHF, not really a pair I've kept an eye on. Hasn't been a part of my watch list for some time now. We are approaching support, so I'll be quite cautious of selling pound CHF. I know we have been trending to the downside pretty well, to be honest. Better than I expected. I was expecting quite a prolonged correction before push down. So this move did surprise me in terms of how early it did come. But yeah, very, very nice move to the downside there for pound Swiss. Now we're testing support. So what time frames are you looking to short pound CHF and pound NZD Ferragams? Is it like an intraday time frame? Is it you're looking for more of a swing trade? Let me know so I can kind of be a bit more used, because personally I wouldn't be looking to short at least pound CHF. We'll go take a look at pound NZD. I'm bearish on pound NZD actually, so I would be looking to short pound NZD, but pound CHF, no, because we are coming back into a pretty big level of support, and we've actually reacted from it as well. I know the market, in fairness, has been very consistent with all these lower highs here. So yes, I understand in terms of following the trend, it does make sense to short, but not into this area where we are trading right now. And especially with how tight we're looking, I do think we can see a bit more of a push to the upside at some point. So pound CHF to me just looks bearish, yes, but very tired and testing a major significant level of support. I do think some upside is likely to come into the market. So pound CHF, I would avoid shorting. Maybe there's some intraday opportunities here, but I think for the most part, you're looking for a very quick trade in and out, not looking to even push back to the lows anyway. So I would avoid that just based on where we're trading. If anything, there might be some nice buys here. Maybe we get a nice up move, break structure, pull back, high or low. Then I think that could actually be a nice buy. Other than that, I would avoid that. Pound NZD, on the other hand, I think from a trend perspective, I'm actually looking for somewhat of a reversal here. The market has been trending to the upside for quite a while. I do think we're quite fatigued now. I do think price can actually see a bit of a downtrend form. It might not be a magnificent downtrend. It might just be a bigger pullback before we do continue higher. But I do think there is room to the downside. So because pound NZD again is another pair which is just moving sideways, I would focus on the highs for entries. And of course, if you're looking to buy, I'd focus on the low for entries as well. But from a short perspective, I'd only be looking to short from 2.27 or around that area before finding a trade. And if I was looking to buy, I'd be looking around 2.22. Anything in here, I would stay away because we're just seeing a lot of fluctuation. There's no consistency to the trend. There's no consistency to the momentum. It's just all over the place. Prices breaking support, breaking resistance inside the two levels. Not really seeing any consistent moves. So I would not be looking to short pound NZD in the middle of that area. I think that's just pure noise and just difficult to get a solid stop loss. No logical place for a stop loss placement, or at least a good place for a stop loss placement, I should say. So I would stay away. But if we were to make a move back to resistance, make a move back into this area, okay, yeah, I like that for a short. Stops above the high, looking to at least capitalize on a swing to the downside, so at least complete the range. And then we can go from there. Or of course, I like the idea if we do break to the downside as well, look for some retests off the back of that. I think that will be a smart trade to take as well. So pound NZD, yes, I do agree with the shorts, but only if you do push the high end of the range or break out completely and look for a retest. As where we're trading, we're in the middle of nowhere, I would stay away. Pound CHF, we're approaching significant support. Trend's been going on for quite a while. So again, I would avoid shorting that too, even if for kind of an intraday move as well. I would avoid that. I think the buys could actually look a bit better there. Some other pound pairs. Pound yen we just had a look at. Pound CAD. Pound CAD, I do think we can see some more downside, but we do have pretty significant support just below us here. So I kind of want to see that break before I do commit to downside there. You can still very much bounce off that level. Euro pound, that's back at resistance now. Big gap above it slightly, but I do think we can see some downside from here. So that would imply some pound strength coming into the market. Yeah, that's about it. So of course you got pound Aussie, which again, pound Aussie I'm looking for move to the downside as well, but just not in the consolidation. I want price to break below that. Then we can speak about some shorts there. Okay, so I'll go take a look at the DAX next for Tashi. No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. Looking to short at 1.07800. Which one's that? Is that pound NZD or pound CHF? Okay, that's be pound CHF. So you're looking to short at 1.078. So that would be around there. So yeah, I mean, it's the same situation really. It's a nice level of resistance. You could see a reaction there. I think if you're looking for a reaction trade, it makes sense. So looking for price to get there, catch a reaction that might last maybe 3-4 bearish candles on the 4-hour chart, maybe last a day, but then that will be it, because again, we're approaching significant support on the weekly chart. You can see here massive reaction, another massive reaction. I can even include these reactions here as well. Oh, didn't mean to do that. These reactions here as well. You know, we're back in that same area again. I'm not saying that we're guaranteed to push up. You could break out potentially. That could happen too. But I wouldn't want to be shorting directly into those areas, or at least looking for a big move. If I'm going to short here, that's because I'm just going to be in and out pretty quickly over the trade. You know, getting in, catch the reaction, take the profit and run sort of situation, because you know, the buyers could very much enter the market and take us back up again. So I don't mind the trade in terms of a quick entry and exit. So back into resistance, nice reaction down, maybe a trade lasts for a day or at least a good chunk of the day, and then you're kind of out, because I do think we'll probably get a bigger retracement at some point, given how fatigued the market is looking and the fact that we are hitting a big level. So I do think we will break higher, but yeah, we might still react at that level first. Of course, you probably wait for price to get there, wait to see how price reacts first, so there's that to come into play as well. But I wouldn't be looking for a big move here, you know, for multiple reasons. So yeah, I'll be careful with that short there for pound CHF. I think if you're looking for a short-term move, yes, big swing trade, it could happen. Not to say it won't happen, it's just the probability is not in the favor. We're looking very fatigued. We're hitting a big level of support right now. You know, I wouldn't be looking to try and look for another big move in those conditions. So that's kind of where I'm at with pound Swiss. In terms of the DAX, yeah, so the DAX I mentioned kind of just quite flat right now. Overall, yes, very much a bullish market. I do think we can still see some more upside, push back into resistance there at 24,647. I think this is really where we're looking for a buy, because of course the market is still flat, but this has been a very solid level of support. Nice reaction over there, another one over there, another one over there as well. I do think we can see another buy off the back of that there too. So I quite like what I'm seeing here with pound on the brain. Quite like what I'm seeing here with the DAX, but I do think a bigger retracement is coming because the market is still quite fatigued. I do expect us to have a pretty big retracement. We've made all-time highs recently as well. So I do expect a bit of a drop soon, but we're not going to get into that because I would wait for price to actually break support first before I would get into that, because we could still slowly grind higher for another few weeks potentially. But yeah, very critical level of support below us here at 24k. I would wait for a push back into that area before looking for a buy. Then yeah, hopefully we can see some more upside off the back of that. It is a rangy market really, so you're just looking to kind of buy low and go from there. See if you can maybe swing it back to the opposite end. But very, very flat for the DAX. Still bullish though, so still naturally only looking to buy really until kind of this support breaks. If something like this happens, then yeah, I would be looking for a pullback then a short. But until then, still very focused on the buys. Meme, what's up? Euro USD. Yeah, so as I said for Euro, I think shorts look good for that one. More downside, to be honest. We broke out some consolidation. I was speaking about a lower time frame opportunity in the 15-minute chart, which I think looks pretty good. I should start with the 4-hour chart. We broke out of this consolidation, which to me looks like price is putting another lower high in. So of course you've got the high over there, nice push down. Then here you've got the lower high. Then price had another push down from that consolidation. So I would suggest if we can pull back, retest that area, I then would expect price to continue going continue going lower and push back into that area of support. And of course, with the break of the consolidation there, that's kind of like a catalyst. So now that we've seen the breakout, now we've seen the momentum, I'm now looking for a pullback on the 15. I think that's where it makes the most sense in terms of risk reward, in terms of entry. You got previous support there. You got a nice area of demand there. Nice push down, really aggressive move. You got a healthy pullback there on the 0.5 of the fib. 0.618 is only slightly just above as well. And simply looking for a push at least back into the prior low. But I do expect us to come back into this area at 1.156 as well. So Euro USD to me, very, very bearish. I think 15-minute chart could be the best way to trade it. Looks like a very, very clean pattern here. But yeah, after that break to the downside, I'm pretty bearish. Although I am going to be a little bit cautious and see what the DXY does in relation to that daily level, because of course that will play a vital role. As I've said, I am leaning towards the bullish side of things on the dollar. I do think price will eventually break back above to the upside. I do have a feeling that that will be the likely move. But at the same time, I've got to wait for that to happen first, wait for price to actually give me that before I can really fully back it as well. Because at the same time, we could easily reject this and start looking bearish. And if that's the case, I'm happy to switch my bias around. But yeah, DXY, break above that. That kind of shows that strength is there for the dollar. And I think Euro has a lot more downside to it. Yusuf, question market structure. How do you deal with structure on high to that when pullback is corrective and the impulse move starts is also corrective? How do you trade it on the low time frame? I mean, if the impulse move is corrective as well, it just means that you might not make it back to the high. So like in Euro USD's situation, which I think is kind of what you're suggesting maybe, because we had that corrective pullback and then we had a kind of a corrective move to the upside. It wasn't really impulsive, at least not compared to the previous one. So in that case, if you trade on a low time frame, you just probably wouldn't be so aggressive for your targets. You know, instead of targeting maybe the prior high or the prior low of wherever you see the market getting back towards, maybe you're a little bit more conservative with your targets, because at the end of the day, you know, if you've got a trend, if you've got bullish structure on like a higher time frame, you know, price is either going to push back to the high at some point in time, or it's going to push back into this low. Price can only ever do one of those two things. Of course, it can consolidate, it can go back and forth, but eventually, in bullish structure, price will either get back to this high or back to that low. If the trend's going to continue, it most likely is going to push back to the high. If the trend's going to reverse, of course, it will have to break through that. Not only get there, but break through. So if price is looking like it's continuing, but it's quite corrective, then maybe price is not going to get to the high there. Maybe it does push on for a bit, puts a lower high, and then it does come back down, kind of what Euro is doing right now. So if that's the case, if things are looking corrective, for that reason, you probably want to don't be as aggressive as you normally would do. Like if momentum was looking strong, maybe you just target the high outright. But because it's not looking as strong, it's looking quite corrective. If that's the case, then don't be so aggressive with targets, because maybe price isn't going to see the full swing. But I would still trade it as normally, like I would do, just look for pullbacks, same patterns along the way. But if things are corrective in favor of the direction you're going in, then maybe price isn't going to go as far as maybe you expect it to normally do. So at that point, manage it a little bit more aggressively. Look out for signs in terms of rejection. That could be a good sign to go to break even a bit earlier or lock in some partials. And same thing with targets. I wouldn't be as aggressive with targets either. No problem, Meme. Happy to help. Okay, yeah, Euro tied time frame and the pullback was corrective and also the impulse too. Yeah, that's exactly funny enough the example we're going through. So yeah, if that's the case, don't be as aggressive with targets, because by itself, when a market is corrective, it just means it's tiring. It could still go on. There are corrective impulses that potentially do continue. Not every corrective move is just going to sell off completely. It's just a game of probabilities as well. So yeah, I mean, you could say this move here was very corrective here too. Look how corrective this was. This was not a very clean impulsive move to the upside for Euro, but it did eventually kind of continue and break the highs and continue higher. Of course, in this case, doesn't look like that's going to be the scenario here. But in this case, we did actually go and create new highs. So there will be times where you do see corrective impulses or the impulse leg be corrective, but still get back to highs. So that's the funny thing with trading. It's all probability at the end of the day. And you just got to make educated guesses and educate decisions. So if things are corrective, don't be as aggressive, because most of the time you're not going to get as big a move as you normally would expect if things were very impulsive and you saw a lot of momentum and big candles. So be a bit more conservative, manage the trade closely. That's the only thing you can really do. But in terms of the way you trade, it's the exact same thing, looking for healthy pullbacks and entries off the back of that. In this case, it actually did get back to highs. In this case, it looks like it hasn't. Difficult to say exactly, which and when and which pullback will get to highs or not. That's something only hindsight can tell you, but from experience, you just got to manage it smartly and go from there. News. Okay, I'll quickly go through the news before wrapping up the stream. No problem, Yusuf. Yeah, I mean I think that's the smart decision to make, because if things are not looking too good and momentum's not quite there, trading, protecting your trade is the best thing to do. I think that's kind of what does separate really good traders from okay traders, is that you're kind of able to adapt to what the conditions of the market are giving you and make smart decisions. It's not going to pay off every move. You're not going to manage the trade correctly every move. The only way to do that would be if you could see into the future, really. Because you'd be in some trades, the momentum looks really good and you're like, okay, wow, this is probably going to smash my take profit and go even further. You walk away from the charts for a little bit, you come back and look and momentum's completely reversed. You're like, what happened? So there will be things like that as well. So you just got to make smart decisions. Typically, if momentum is strong, we're likely to continue, especially in trending environments. If we're starting to look corrective, well, the market's typically going to have a retracement of that. Might not completely reverse, but it probably will see some downside. And you just got to manage the trade accordingly. But in terms of news, at least for today, not much. Tuesday, we've got Jolts, USD, 3 o'clock. That could be interesting. Good trades balance as well at 1:30. So we've got some dollar news tomorrow. CPI for Aussie in the early hours of Wednesday morning. A few Aussie pairs we're keeping an eye on, so I'll keep an eye on that news as well. GDP for Euro at 10 a.m. tomorrow. GDP for CAD as well, 1:30 tomorrow, on Wednesday, sorry. Bank of Canada interest rate decision on Wednesday as well. Quite a lot of news on Wednesday now. And Fed interest rate on Wednesday as well. Got quite a lot of news on Wednesday. Fed interest rate, Bank of Canada, That's of course the Fed interest rates at 7 UK time. That is Thursday. Thursday jobless claims for USD, and Friday non-farm payroll. So yeah, quite a lot of news this week. It's gonna be interesting to see how it does pan out. But yeah, definitely keep an eye on that as the week does go on. There's a lot of news this week. But anyway, guys, we have come to the end of the stream. I hope you have found it useful, enjoyed it. If that's the case, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel before you do leave. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. I will be live again, of course, rest of the week. I'm back, so we'll be live again throughout the week. So Tuesday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. If you're free, pop in, come and say hi. If you do want to check out Zenthrick's Telegram and check out the Signal service, I'll post the link again in the chat for you. Check out the Telegram at the top where the pinned messages are. You'll be able to find the Telegram link to their AI Signal service. You can click on that, and you can see plenty of different signals there throughout the day, different markets, different time frames. Different patterns, different indicators coming together. So a lot of interesting ideas to go through, which you can experiment with as well. But guys, really do appreciate you tuning in for another stream. As I said, I'll be live again tomorrow. I hope to see you all there. Drop a like before you do leave, share it with your friends. And of course, guys, I'll see you all in the next one.
Introducing Zenthrick's AI-powered trading signals service. Tired of second-guessing your trades? Zenthrick's AI scans the markets 24/7 with powerful, proven indicators built to give you clarity. You get 200-plus signals every day on 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily charts. We cover Forex, crypto, commodities, indices, and stocks, so you're covered no matter what you trade. And the best part, you get all this delivered 3 ways, every day. Web alerts give you fast, clean access right from your dashboard. Telegram delivers real-time entries, confidence levels, sentiment, and trade duration. And email gives you the full breakdown, including 2 profit target levels and deep market analysis. Just hold $5 worth of ZTR. See what you can achieve with powerful AI trading intelligence by Zenthrick's. Try it now. And join our Telegram channel.